Hey, what's up? It's your boy BobbySapphire. It was a wild weekend in Star Wars Unlimited land. Today we're going to talk about some lists that will absolutely crush your local store showdowns. Let's check it out. All right, so did I really crush a store showdown with Boba Fett Command Center? Yes, I did. Was it draft? Yes, it was. This store showdown I had was absolutely bonkers. It was a draft event. There were 19 of us. We all drafted in different pods, or like not all of us, but there were three pods. Then we played 4 rounds of Swiss, all with those draft decks, and then we played a 12. Then we played a top four with those draft decks. It was truly unreal. Uh, that wasn't the craziest part. The craziest part was we were all given 2 OP packs and the promo takedown, and we were allowed to put those in our deck. So I opened my OP packs. I get 5 heroic cards. I had Dodonna, I had Luke Saber, I had Leia, Battlefield Marine, and C3PO. And I was like, sick, 5 heroes. All I got to do is open a heroic leader. 0 heroic leaders in any of my 3 choices. So I was the only yellow leader at the table. So I ended up Boba Fett. And actually, I'm gonna pause, but let's check out the list. Okay, this is my sweet, sweet list. It's actually fairly insane. I skillfully got past 2 overwhelming barrages and a reinforcement walker. The rest just kind of fell into place. I knew I was going to be green because I got past the barrage, even before I knew I was going to be Boba Fett. The 2 villain cards that I was able to use for my OP packs were a Death Trooper and the Takedown, of course. So I was really banking on being Krennic when I opened. But then the yellow stuff just kept coming, especially since I realized I was the only yellow drafter at the table, at least leader-wise. Obviously, you can use whatever base you want. Only caveat to this, I took this right after I built, and I ended up not playing Chimera. I ended up playing the Takedown and playing it for 6. And it was great all day. I mean, it probably won me games that I shouldn't have won. But, I mean, there were people who had, you know, playing with the OP pack cards was insane because I just couldn't, my brain wasn't playing around the things that I needed to play around. As you can see, I was not able to utilize a single OP pack card, but didn't matter. I went 3-1 in Swiss. I lost to an absolutely broken blue Boba Fett deck that had multiple takedowns, vanquishes, power of the dark sides, multiple bounty hunter crew, waylay. It was completely insane. Steamrolled me 2-0, and then played against him in the finals and was able to take him down on the back of just some tight play and mostly like taking advantage of having like a nice space game and the overwhelming barrages and just kind of playing tight. So that's how I won with Boba Fett Command Center. Don't think too many people won Store Showdowns with Boba Fett Command Center, but I was hoping to open a Jin and try and take one down with a Jin. Okay, and before we get to the Store Showdown crushing lists, I do want to shout out the mono yellow boba. If you went to a store showdown this weekend, I think you probably saw one. From the reports I'm getting is that it's been really widely played, which is crazy. I mean, it's a good deck for sure. I still think the deck is awesome and I really love it, and lots of people played yellow boba. I am not necessarily trying to take any credit other than a lot of people who I've talked to and told this deck was really good have played it and found a lot of success. I want to shout them out because I think this is the end of the run of the last 3 weeks of like just crazy amounts of yellow Boba Fett. I think the control decks are coming because of all the Boba play. I think if you played this weekend, you also saw probably a downtick in Sabine, an uptick in Boba, and maybe even, actually, I'm going to tell you, some control decks taking down showdowns. And as the meta shifts towards those control decks, especially the green control decks, this thing is going to become far less potent in the meta. So I wanted to say a fond farewell and shout out a bunch of the people who've been playing it over the last few weeks. With this video, actually, I'm going to... Can I do this? There we go. I'm gone. Just a bunch of people in our Discord shouting out the victories this weekend. This is just a percentage of them, but lots of people playing it, lots of people winning with it. It's been really good. I just want to shout out the KTOT community who have trusted me when I said, like, this deck's insane. You should play it. You should win. DZ winning 3 store showdowns with it, and just Biggie 1-2. Yeah, all over the world. And then of course, and then I really want to shout out specifically Reflex, my teammate, who you guys probably have heard me talk about. He won a 1K just about a couple hours ago, where he won first place. So he won the cash, which is probably like around $400, and then also won a Boba Fett showcase, which is like truly insane pricing, a lot better than the pricing that I've been playing at. And you could see Lightbringer there winning a booster box as well as the maces and all those packs. So big shout out to everyone who's been playing Cunning Boba. And the reason why, like I said, I wanted to shout them out is because I think this is the weekend they start to go away. And if you want to crush your showdowns, I'm going to tell you what you should play at the end of this video, and I'm going to tell you what's been winning. So the first thing I want to do is shout out Grumpy Elephant. He's not the only one. I saw another post on the Facebook group where someone won a showdown, maybe even 2 showdowns with Yellow Palpatine. And if you play on well, you might have seen Yellow Palpatine. I feel like I play against a lot of Yellow Palpatines in some venues. If you know what I'm talking about, cool. If not, no big deal. Obviously, this is a crazy sick brew. He's got the main deck change of hearts. He's got 2 Moddies. He's doing everything in here. He's got 3 Veers. It's like the full Imperial package. I really love the Imperial package. I've actually been talking about it with my teammate from X-Wing, Chris Allen, who has been really working on Grand Inquisitor and really liking the, like, I tried the Imperial package in Yellow Boba Fett, and Chris has been trying it in some different builds. We just really, really like it. And obviously, Grumpy Elephant took it here with this Palp deck and went, you know, pretty much full Imperial. I really love this list. The only thing I'm like pretty down on is the commands over the resupplies. I know the resupplies are in the board, and I know like command has some strength. Command for 6 is a lot, and I would much rather just be, I'd much rather just be playing the Cunnings for 6. I think it's a much better card, even like even not in an aggro tempo deck. Like if I was going to splash, that would be my one critique. But I would say if like what I think is going to happen is these green-based control decks are going to rise up after this weekend, as they already have started to. This is sort of like, this was the weekend they started to break through, and then next weekend will be the weekend where they're everywhere and winning. So Palpatine really, you know, one of those leaders that we're looking to for set 2. I think he's going to become really dominant. So I would consider this or a build like this. I love the full Imperial package. I think ISB Agent is really cracked. And yeah, let's take a look at B Godfather 11, who took a blue-green Iden to a Store Showdown win this weekend, and he is he's so control skewed. I think he probably didn't need to be this control skewed, but maybe it was a local meta call. You know, he still has a lot of good anti-aggro stuff, but I think with all the Boba and all the aggro the last few weeks that I maybe don't need to go that hard. That being said, going forward, I really like this kind of build with a really, really high top end. I think the aggro decks have been sort of pushed out by the Boba Fett decks, the green Bobas, the blue Bobas, and the yellow Bobas. And then if you're really tuned in, the red Bobas, because I think those are coming too. But I really like going back to this list. I love Gideon, 3 Gideon, and this like pretty potent late game I think is really, really strong. Great cards in there for even more control matchups in the sideboard. So I would take a look. Like the Idens are coming back. I think my brother Matty will be excited. I think Iden, Krennic are both decks that give the Boba Fett's a lot of problems. So those things had been pushed out by the Blue Vaders of the world, and now I think they're coming back in. And even though the blue the blue Idens and the blue Palps and the blue Vaders might have some game into these, I think you'll see a deck like this that's taking these Star Destroyers and giving a really heavy top end, and even having the main deck restock and vigilance and being ready for those mill matchups if need be, exactly where you want to try and take your blue-green control decks. Then I want to shout out Loopy, who, if you haven't been checking out Late Night Gaming's content, he's been doing these insane masterclass videos about all the major decks of the formats. I've been on one with my teammate Reflex. We talked about Green Boba. There's been Yellow Sabine, Green Luke, Green Sabine. Yeah, there's just been a ton. If you're not checking out Late Night Gaming, you should. This is Vader Force Ramp. This is Loopy's Pride and Joy. He's been playing this a lot. I think this kind of deck also can kind of prey on the Boba Fett decks, especially as they push the aggro out. So I think that this deck, and then we've seen back before the full set dropped in like one of the preseason TTI tournaments, we saw like Vika maybe win one or come in second with like a really, I don't want to call it greedy, but a really like anti-control skewed build of this, and you can do that here. I love the inclusion of Grand Moff Tarkin. Again, kind of capitalizing the Imperial package. The Imperial package has been really slept on over the last few weeks, or like months really, and I love seeing that Tarkin there. I think with the Emperor's Royal Guards and having the official is really strong, and then just fueling your hand, you get a lot of value out of being able to pull all these Imperials. So I would even want the third Snowtrooper Lieutenant, I think, in, but obviously, Loopy did great with the stack. He took down a store showdown. I'm not necessarily criticizing, but with all the Imperials, I want that Lieutenant in there. I don't necessarily know what I'd cut, but this deck looks sick. If anything, I want more Imperial. I want more Palpatine units, and I want the third Ruthless Raider. I think that card is just too cracked. But I haven't played this deck, so I can't really say. But congratulations to Loopy. He's doing great. I love Force Surrender and all these cards. They're totally nuts. And then I want to shout out to A True Prophecy, who took down a store showdown with Red Chirrut. Red Chirrut's been super slept on. I think if Wu had won his 1K or whatever, it was 2K a couple weeks ago, instead of losing in the finals, that this deck would be more heavily played. I think it's got a lot of game into Boba Fett, and I think that like Chirrut with a lightsaber is just one of the most insane things that you can do right now, and force throwing your redemptions and Lukes at the likes of Boba Fett and Vader is just too insane. So I love the main deck disabling Fang Fighters here. That's like a concession to all the entrenched and traitorous and opposing upgrades that are going around. I love that a lot of people have been putting Devotion in their main deck. I think that's really, really smart. We know that upgrades are really tough for Sabine to deal with, so having those main deck devotions on units that they can't interact super well with, especially like a shielded up Kanan or a Kanan who's had the Force with him. There's just so many situations where you can get an arena clear and start devoting your life to restore. Carabas is a card that, it's situational. It's not my favorite, but it's cheap and it's removal, so it has shown some strength there. I think with all the Bobas running around, I would definitely be on the main deck making openings instead. But as I said, I think the meta is going to shift towards more green-based control. All right, so if I was going to a store showdown this weekend, what would I be playing? I'd be playing Yellow Sabine. I know I've been a Green Sabine stan. I still think Green Sabine's insane. Don't get me wrong there. I think with shout out, so this is Uncle Frank's deck. You can check it out on the masterclass for Late Night Gaming, where he talks all about it. I wouldn't run this list exactly, but I like a lot of the things that Frank's doing in this list, specifically the sneak attacks and the heroic sacrifices with the R2D2s. Those are things that I want in my list. He talks a lot about his card choices, so I strongly suggest you check out those videos. I think that to beat certain aggro decks, you need to be built differently. But obviously, the thing that we do in this game is like try and skew our deck to beat whatever meta we think. And this is how Frank chose to fight the Boba Fett meta. With the 3 full complement of Leia's and Bamboozle and stuff. Change of Heart main deck, Chewbacca. I guess I don't think Chewbacca's that good against Boba Fett, but I guess like if you're sparking them, potentially you could. I guess he doesn't even have the Sparks main deck, so yeah, I don't know. Not Chewbacca for Boba Fett, but anyway, I'd be playing some version of Yellow Sabine. So if you're a subscriber, I'll shout out what I think you should be doing there. But otherwise, I think with the rise of the green-blue control decks and the green-based control decks that we're going to see this weekend and this coming weekend and the weekend after, I would probably want to be the one to hope to dodge the Boba Fett matchups and win with Sabine, specifically 30-point Yellow Sabine with a Rebel package. I'll leave you with that. If you crushed a store showdown and you didn't send me your list, what are you thinking? Please do it. If you crushed a store showdown and you want to get some kudos, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear how you did. Feel free to DM me if you ever want to be featured on any of these. Not giving interviews, but I'll definitely feature your deck. So anyway, good luck at Store Showdowns. I hope you can take one down. Still waiting to hear someone taking it down with Jin. Please do it. I'm out of commission for the next 2 weeks, but I'll be back on June 8th with my local Store Showdown, and we'll see how the meta shakes out, but I'm hoping to bring Hera. All right, later.